Okay, so we are here at midseason, and this is my hardest power rankings I've done in the past 3 years of this channel, 3-4 years, whatever it's been, and I'm scared to what the end of the year is going to look like because I have no idea if outside of the top 3 teams, so there's 32 teams, 29 of them I don't think can win the Super Bowl, and I don't think are good enough to even get to the Super Bowl because, like, especially the NFC North, everyone's so bad that it's like, you know, it might just be the Eagles. They might get the 1 seed and just coast on through because everyone else is not as good. So, I don't know. Every second I delay this, I start thinking of where I'm going to put someone else because I don't know what I'm going to do. So, right now, this is how I have it. I'm not changing it because this is my mid-season rankings, so whatever happens, happens. This is not, I don't go off of any other research from any other people like ESPN or this site or that site or anything. This is all me watching the games, seeing what I see, watching the highlights again, seeing... you know, have they improved? Have they not improved? And I don't agree with a lot of it. I have no idea how to feel about this list because I feel like this is totally wrong. Now, I think one thing a lot of people can agree on is the Texans do feel like the worst team in football. Now, they did put up a fight against the Eagles. They did. The first half, they put up a heck of a fight. And then they fell off the face of the earth, and they just went back down to the bottom here. So, you know, one good half out of 9 weeks. So, yeah. There's not much to say about that. Panthers are next here at 31 because they look bad. They look very bad. And again, this is not in order of draft picks and whatnot either. This team looks so bad. And P.J. Walker gave them life for a little bit. And yes, they beat the Bucs, but the Bucs don't look that good. The Bucs are not in my top 10, and we'll get to them later on. So I don't know. I don't know. If they would have beat the Falcons, and they would have taken over the first, taken over first in the division, and again, they would have lost this week. But I would have probably had a little more faith, but I'm maybe in like around 20. But they just look so bad right now, and they got blown out by the Bengals yesterday. So I am recording this on Monday. Obviously, this won't go up until it'll be Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna try to get this up early in the week because I have a lot of stuff I have to do at the end of the week here. Yeah. We'll talk about the game tonight. And again, by the time you see this, the game will be over. But where I'm putting them, the 2 teams tonight, it was just the Raiders and the Saints. I don't think I would move them a lot, depending on who wins that game. So we'll get to them later on. Raiders at 30. How do you blow 3 17-plus point leads in a single year? A single year! 2 bad teams, and the Cardinals are a mid-tier team. You blew it to Jacksonville. How? You had 17-0 against Jacksonville, and what they went was it 20-17? I believe they put up all 20 points or the last 20 points of the game. I believe they're bad. They're very bad. I thought the Packers are bad. The Raiders are horrendous. Just 3 times. 3! In 1 season. I believe, and I don't know if this is a true stat or not, but I believe I saw something that said they've had 5 17-plus point blown leads all within the history of their team, and 3 of them came this year. 5 in the history of their team, 3 in 1 year. Now, again, I don't believe that's 100% factual, but if that is, that's a terrible stat to have. So, then we move on to the Steelers. You know, I have a Steelers fan in my stream. Shout out to Steelers. The Steelers fan in there that stops by every week. Even, talking to him and whatnot, he doesn't have a lot of faith in the Steelers. But, and I stated this in the stream, too, yesterday. TJ Watt literally helps that team, or that defense, be a lot better. He'll take a double team so that someone else is one-on-one, which can, again, help the, corners. So, they might not, get exposed as much because the defensive front is getting up there. Without TJ Watt, there's no one to really worry about. Minka's getting torched and burnt in the back. The Steelers just, aren't looking that good. And who knows? Maybe if TJ Watt comes back, maybe they can turn it around a little bit. But even that offense is just, it's not that good. But they're really low. They're really low here, in my opinion, just because I haven't seen a lot from them. And again, talking to a Steelers fan too, just doesn't feel like the Steelers evolved, and Tomlin might have his first losing record season. So, then we come to my team, the Packers. I have them here at, 28. God, this team is bad. This team is so bad. Rashawn Gary out for the year with an ACL. Dobbs out 4 to 6 weeks. Aaron Jones got hurt. David Bakhtiari is still not 100%. That O-line is still not 100%. Wide receivers are ass. Defense, not playing up to potential. Coaches, absolutely ass. Suck. Get rid of them. Even though they're probably not going to with contracts, but with the coaching contracts. But this team is just so bad. This is so bad. And you can blame Rodgers. You can blame the coaches. You can blame the wide receivers. You can blame, the defense for looking bad. Joe Barry. There's a million different places that you can blame, and they're all right. And Rodgers this week looked like he was one of the major factors as to why they lost. Especially that last drive when you're just taking end zone shots. I don't know why. But, you have 2 timeouts taking end zone shots. I don't get it. You have, you're throwing a touchdown to David Bakhtiari that gets picked off by Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions' #1 pick, or first-round pick. Why? Rodgers came out and said it was David Bakhtiari and someone else. I don't remember who else it was. He might not have said the person. There was only 2 routes he was going to throw to, and he decided to throw to David Bakhtiari. And not even that, he underthrew him. So, it's just bad. It's just bad. We're going to move on. Jags coming in next. I had them. I believe I had them preseason. I think they had them at 30 is what I had. I moved so many things around. This took me like half an hour just to move everything around and whatnot, so I forget where I had the Jags. But it was like at 30, something like that. So I'm moving them up here to, 26, 27. They're improving. They are improving. They're doing better. I think, again, maybe another year under Doug Peterson. Trevor, I got to talk to, I got to find a Jags fan and talk to him. But me personally, I don't know if Trevor is the franchise QB. He doesn't look crazy, amazing, spectacular. And again, they went out, they got him a whole bunch now. Offense, defense, and whatnot. We have they have Calvin Ridley next year off of his suspension for gambling. So they went out and they got people around and people and pieces around Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see. I'll give him another year. We'll see how he looks because, again, I don't really count Urban Meyer's year because he just looked absolutely atrocious with that team or with that coaching staff. So, again, I think another year under Doug Peterson, and they might even move up higher. I did have them higher early on in the season, but they're kind of falling back to earth a little bit. And you beat the Raiders, and the Raiders... Now, I did in my picks last week. I thought, Raiders suck against good teams. Yes, they, look good against the Chiefs for some weird reason. But then they, usually suck against every other good team, and then they beat up bad teams. And Jacksonville's like a mid-tier team to me, and they lost to them after leading 17-0. So the Raiders, that's not a huge win. It's not a huge win. So, but again, they'll move up probably. We'll see how the end of the year looks. Falcons are next. They're improving. I think they're improving slowly, steadily. I think they need a couple more pieces in there. I don't think this year really playoffs. I think they need a couple more pieces. Mariota's actually shocked me. He actually looks better than what I thought he would. They just don't really have anyone. Cardell Patterson. Yeah, I was like, did I get that right? I think I got that. I think I got it right. Has been injured and whatnot. He's, I believe, practicing this week. He might have played yesterday. I don't remember. I would have to double check that, but I think he might have played yesterday. If not, he's practicing. He's getting back, coming back soon. So that he's probably like the star player, and maybe they would have won one extra game where he was gone. I think it was like 4 weeks it's been or something like that. He's been gone, something like that. So maybe they would still be leading the division. I think, don't the Bucks lead the division again? I think they do. So, but I think again another year, more pieces, more defensive pieces. Another offensive weapon besides Kyle Pitts, and maybe they're contending. They do have Drake London. Develop Drake London too, alongside another offensive piece. So again, I think they're maybe a couple years. They're in a rebuild, and they're a lot better than what I thought they would be. Lions at 25. I have them this high because they've been in a lot of games. They are like one of the best scoring offenses in the league. They just have one of the worst defenses in the league. But it was enough to beat the Packers with 15 points. So, but they they're okay. I think wild card. When I said wild card was their ceiling, I think that was a little bit too high. Maybe 6 wins is their height now. Mid-season here. I don't know how many more they're going to win, but they're in a lot of games. And again, their offense can put up points. It's just the defense is just bad. But, you beat up on probably one of the worst teams in the league in the Packers yesterday. So, Colts just fired Frank Reich just an hour before I'm recording this. We'll see. Jeff Saturday has been named the interim head coach, so we'll see how they do it. I don't really have a lot to say here. New coach coming in. Browns look good. Some weeks look bad. Others, they beat up on the Bengals, and the Bengals are in my top 10, but I don't know how to feel about them. They're a weird team. They got Watson coming back in about, 3 weeks, so, I don't know. I don't know what to think about them. Broncos are kind of slowly turning it around a little bit. They're, figuring stuff out here and there. Just beat the Jags in London. They could be okay. We'll see. They could be. Bears. I have the Bears pretty high. I don't know what it is, but the past month or whatever it's been, the offense of the Bears has looked better. Despite them getting rid of defensive players, getting rid of other players, they went out and got Chase Claypool. And they've looked... Their offense has looked better than I expected. I had them before the season being like a top 5 draft pick. They might be like a top 10, top 15 draft pick because they're looking better than how they were in the first month of the season. And I think they're going to continue building off of it. So I think they're an underrated team right now. And they're looking like better than anyone expected, especially with them getting rid of defensive players too. Even though they did lose to the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are going to be high on my list too, so we'll talk about them later. Patriots just got a win. You just got, the culture, Frank Wright fired from the Colts. They're kind of ascending a little bit here. Very interested to see. Now, I know what Chicago beat the Patriots, I believe, right? I know I do have Chicago under them. It's just, I feel like... down the line, I feel like the Patriots are starting to get into a rhythm again, and I feel like they could beat them. So again, they're like on par with each other, is what it is. But I just decided I'm going to put the Bears behind the Patriots just because they feel like they're kind of clicking again. And the AFC is not wide open, but if you can beat, the Jets, you can get a couple wins, or steal a win from the Dolphins. Maybe steal a win from the Patriots, or the Bills or something like that. Get a couple more wins in the division. go out, beat a couple other teams. You might be able to sneak in as like 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs. So we'll see. I guess I could have put the Bears ahead of them because they have an easier shot at the playoffs, technically. Cardinals at 19. I don't know what to think about them. They just don't look good, but they're playing okay, and I don't know. Washington next. I think Washington they played really good against the Vikings, so the Vikings are high on my list. We'll talk about them later, but I think they can be okay. I think they're on a surgence. I think they're missing a couple people. Isn't Chase Young, is he still out, I believe? So they're still missing kind of like some key players on defense. Maybe another weapon on offense, and maybe in 2 years they could be a playoff contending team. You're in the hardest division in the NFL right now, in the NFC East. So who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? The lowest team in the NFC East is inside the top 20. So that's crazy to think about. Even though they are under, 4-5 now? So, yeah, but I think they have a good future ahead of them. Chargers next. I go back and forth with them because some weeks they look really good, some weeks they don't. I have no idea how to feel about them. They're a really weird team to me. I did pick Atlanta to upset them because I was not, I had a lot of faith in them, but they played pretty well this week against Atlanta, so maybe they can be good. You're in basically, well, not a wide open AFC West, but anything is possible. You get a win against the Chiefs, you start winning against the Raiders and Broncos, and you could easily be contending for the AFC West title. So it's just, can they do it is the problem. Seattle up here at, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Seattle up here at 16. Holy crap. They have just blown my mind. They've looking very good. Better than expected. Geno is looking like comeback player of the year. I know we joke about MVP, but there's not too many people in that MVP race, in my opinion, right now. But Geno, if he has, a masterclass game against, a couple opponents coming up, they might be a pretty good, team to face. It's just, I don't think they can win the division. I don't know. I really don't know. I think San Francisco probably is going to win that division. But maybe you get a playoff spot because it's so wide open. I don't know. 15 is the Saints. Again, they play tonight. Again, the Ravens are right around here too. Saints, I just don't know how to feel about them. They're looking okay some weeks, looking bad other weeks. So I'm going to put them right in the middle of the pack. I think the Ravens are after the... I think they're after here, the Rams. Rams at 14. What a sloppy game. Offense looked terrible. Jalen Ramsey actually called out the offense in a post-game press conference. But this offense just looks mediocre, and it's just, O-line's bad. I think they have, one starting O-line member in that the main 5 right there for the O-line. So just very bad. They're very, weak and whatnot there. So, yeah, I don't know what else to think about them. Oh, okay, I know where the Ravens are. Cowboys are next. If they can get a couple wins here, I mean, the Packers aren't really a threat, so they should win this game next week. It's in Lambeau on the road, but they should win this game. They just look good, and, Dak came back. And the real test will be the Eagles in December. I think it's late December is when they play the Eagles. So, very excited for that. We'll see what happens. For now, though, they're going to sit here at, 13? And we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. I think they can be good. It's just, you got to play the best team in the league. Oops. Spoiler. And... you play them twice. You lost them once with Cooper Rush. Can you beat them with Dak? Who knows? We'll see. Tampa here at, what is this? I keep forgetting. 15, 14, 13, 12. I have them just outside the top 10. I think they will make a push back to the top 10 later in the year. They look okay. They just got a win against the Rams, who are not looking that good offensively. They did struggle against that Rams defense for a while there, but they were able to get a win in the end. Tom Brady led another game-winning drive, and they can go on the upswing. They can win some games. So it's all about executing and doing it. Again, they're outside the top 10 here for me, but I think eventually they will be back in the top 10. Giants here at 11. I think right now, Giants are better than Cowboys. I do. I do. I think the defense is good. I think the offense is really, looking better than what a lot of people thought they were. And I think this is a team where they're not going to be a, winner of the division because the Eagles are in their division. But they can go on the road and they can get it done. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter where. They can get it done. So, we'll see. Giants they're a fun team to watch. Even when they beat the Packers, they were a fun team to watch. Saquon's still one of my favorite running backs. He's not my favorite because that's Derrick Henry, but Saquon's so much fun to watch too. Danny Dimes, he's living up to his name this year, looking a lot better. So we'll see how the rest of the year shakes out. But I think the Giants are in good condition to make the playoffs in a weak NFC. I do. Number 10 is the Jets. Now, again, I thought I had the Ravens at 10. I believe they're 9. We'll see. But I think the Jets are, I don't want to say playoff lock, but they're looking very good. You just beat the best team in the AFC, and, your defense just looks crazy good. Even despite Zach Wilson, who I think Zach Wilson is just, he's an QB. I think he's looking very good. I think the team around him is looking very good. And hey, you put the Jets and the Giants up against each other this year. I think the Jets will win, but I think the Giants put up a fight. But I do think the Jets would still win that game. So I gotta put them above the Giants just because they feel like almost a complete team. And I think I would have Giants QB would be better, but defense I probably would take the Jets defense, and well, I guess you have Saquon there. You would have had one of the best rookie running backs, but he got hurt. Breece Hall got hurt, so oh crap. Whoops. Okay, Ravens are next. I've moved it so many times. I had the Ravens at 9, and I decided to switch them with Titans here at 9. Malik Willis looked very good last night against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs I have really highly ranked here. So the fact that you led 17-8, 17-9, I think it was 17-9, I believe. For most of this game, defense looked very good. You were slinging it. You were running it. They were giving it to Derrick Henry. He doesn't have any wide receivers, and they're still contending against one of the better teams in the AFC. So I think that's instantly got to put them inside the top 10 for power rankings. They were very quiet. I think it was a 5-game winning streak after starting 0-2, go on 5-game run, and then obviously you just lost to the Chiefs last night. So 5-3, not a bad record, especially in a tough AFC where it's going to be tough to really find the seeding. You probably have the AFC South on lock with Colts falling down. Jags could be a threat, but I don't really see them being a big threat. So I think again you probably have a top 4 seed, but how far can they go? It depends on the offense, really. It really does. So then Ravens again. I had them at 9, but it's put them at 8 here in the end. They're good. I have some questions about them, but I think they will be good. They are leading the division right now, and they probably should win the game against the Saints tonight. Again, I'm recording this before the Saints game. This is going to go up after the Saints game. But if they lose, I guess I would probably move them down to 10. And maybe the Saints are up at 12 or something. But I would not move them too much because I think I've seen, enough where the teams are, where they, should be. Again, Saints are right in the middle of the pack for me, and the Ravens are a little bit higher. Again, I have them inside the top 10 because their ceiling is really good. Mark Andrews is out tonight for the game, so that sucks. Who knows how long he'll be out, but the Raiders are still finding the Ravens are still finding ways to win, so we'll see with that. I do have the Bengals ahead of them, even though I believe the Ravens are leading the AFC North. I do, have the Bengals ahead of them. They, looked crazy good. They're blowing out opponents and whatnot. Yes, there are some weeks where they just kind of whoop and just instantly crash and burn the plane. They're flying, and then all of a sudden they're building it right back up in the air. So, I think I can't put them in the top 5, but I think eventually they will be very good. I think they're looking like a pretty good team. There's times where this team reminds me of that Super Bowl running team, or not running, but the run to the Super Bowl last year. And there's times where it's like, okay, that's the Bengals of old that just sucks. So, what are we gonna get for the rest of the year? I don't know. Obviously, again, you got to start beating up on, AFC North opponents and whatnot. You got to start winning those games. You lost against the Browns, but you got to start winning the rest of them. So we'll see how that shakes up. Niners, I believe, are on a bye this week, so nothing, really to change here. They don't want to put them ahead of anyone else and whatnot. They look good. Probably should win the NFC West. The NFC is wide open, and when you have a team that's kind of on a rise right now, mid-season, you can, if you finish strong and whatnot, maybe you can get a higher seed. You're home all the time in the warm weather, especially in winter. But again, that didn't affect them because they went up north to Green Bay last year, and just were prepared for the cold. So, but getting home games, get the Niners fans there. I think they'll be pretty good. I don't want to call them a playoff lock, but they're looking like they should be able to win this division and win it very well. But again, I think they did blow out the Seahawks one time, but I think it would be a little bit different of a game. And they just beat up the Rams a couple weeks ago. I believe they haven't faced the Cardinals yet. I don't remember, but we'll see as the future, or as we move towards the future of the playoffs, of what's going to happen, but I think I have them pretty good here. Number 5 is the Vikings. I hate this so much, but they're good. They're good. They're what, 6-1, 7-1, whatever. 7-1. 7-1. I don't think they've had their bye yet. I believe they haven't had their bye yet. So I believe it is 7-1. Maybe it's 6-1. I just forgot. No, 7-1 would be a bye. Yeah, I think it's 7-1. Point is, they look good. Zadarius Smith. Was it Player of the Week or Player of the Month a couple weeks ago? Kirk Cousins is looking pretty well. He's got wheels. They did struggle a bit against Washington on the road in Washington, but they were able to come back and win that game. But they're one of the more consistent NFC teams, and so that instantly puts them inside the top 10 because there's not a lot of consistency in the NFC. So, and when you only have one loss, it's to the Eagles. That's not a bad thing, especially in the NFC. So they're probably going to get the second seed behind the Eagles again because they have they don't have the tiebreaker against the Eagles. So Eagles have to lose 3 games and the Vikings have to win out to well, I guess they can probably lose 1 in that case. But Eagles would have to lose 2 games. Vikings win out in order to get the 1 seed. But, you beat them 2 seed, and then your only threat is to go probably to Philly. I think that's pretty good thing. Everyone else is coming to you in your dome. So, Finn's at 4. Tua, I believe, is 6-0 when starting. I believe it's a stat I saw. They're looking good. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle are amazing, breaking records and whatnot. They have an amazing offense, pretty good defense and whatnot. When the offense does well, the defense is also clicking. And again, when they have a weird not as good QB as Tua, then, you know, when the offense isn't clicking, then the defense starts to fall apart too. So I think it really depends on Tua, but they're looking very good. They are looking very good. Number 3, here we go. These are the most consistent teams in the NFL, the Chiefs. 8-point comeback against the Titans. Took it to overtime. Were able to win in overtime. Yes, you did struggle a lot. Mahomes was sacked, I believe, 4 or 5 times in this game last night. Tough game against the Titans, who seem to always have their number, but they did very well. And I think, again, they're really consistent. They're still winning and whatnot. Yes, you lost to the Bills, but you know, I think they're still a very, very, very good team. So they're at 3. Number 2, there's the Bills right there. Now, I wanted to so badly put them at 1, but then you lost to the Jets. So now you have 2 losses on the year. I believe it's 2 losses. And so, you know, yes, the Jets are good, but that just means that the Eagles are number 1. It just means, like, you're very good, offense, very good defensively, but Josh Allen was human against the Jets yesterday, and they, you know, messed around with him, beat him up. What was it, 3 sacks, I think, or something like that? I think Josh Allen also had like 2 or 3 interceptions. So, like, he looked shaken up. He looked human yesterday. And yeah, so I gotta put him at 2. I wanted to put him at 1, but Philly still undefeated, still consistent. Again, struggled a little bit in you know, they had to go to the Texan Stadium. Able to, you know, make it a very good second half and, you know, put their foot down and won that game. Still undefeated. Now the best team in the league. I think it's official after the Bills just lost to the Jets. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up there. It's already been a long enough video. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people that disagree with that, disagree with this. Maybe they think the Bills should still be higher. Again, 2. I believe it's 2. I can double check here real quick as I'm signing out. But I believe it's 2 losses on the year for the Bills. So that kind of sucks. You know, to have that. So that's why I got to put them ahead of them. So here it is right here. We will look at the record if it loads. It's not loading. Crap. All right, let me go to a new tab here. All right, but yeah, anyway, you know, let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what team should be higher, what team should be lower. Okay, this one's kind of loading. All right, so let's go the Jets. Let's see the record here real quick. Is it 5-2? Yeah, it should be 5-2, but I just want to double check. But yeah, yep. Sorry, 6-2. 6-2. Sorry, they've already had their bye. For now, like the video, share the video around, don't subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.